My name is Charles E. Benford. I reside on the west side of Chicago, Illinois, and right there in the Austin district. And over the last couple of weeks, I think that one of the things that I've found is that 2016, I had some issues that went into some, how can I say, emergency states of my life, and recovery is recovery. I believe that recovery from addiction, recovery from alcohol, recovery from financial ruin, recovering from surgery, recovery is recovery. I had surgery in 2014, and this is 2019, and it has taken me several years to pull out all stops. But one of the things I think that was very significant about who I am and what I am, it starts back when I was probably 5, 6 years old, 7 years old. My family was just, my oldest brother was, being the second black family that moved in the neighborhood. One of the things, as being some of the originators for the vice lords in Chicago, my family goes all the way back to those McAteer days. Just a bunch of just adolescent young black men grouping together, thinking that they kind of defended themselves against the white students or what have you at Austin High School. But that dynamics really took a crippling effect on my family. I had one of my brothers, third to my oldest brother, 16 years old. One of the first rash of, how can I say it, gun violence back in the day. It was traumatic because it was the first time that we had experienced something like that. Our community hadn't really experienced anything like that. So when I correlate what goes on in our society, and definitely on our west side, south side, and our black communities now, we have become so numb to just senseless gun violence. But I remember gun violence growing up where it wasn't normal, but now it's normal because it's desensitized us. Meaning gun violence, our house got shot up not once, but twice. I remember opening up the doors for the folks because I knew them. I'm like, hey, there goes so-and-so. My brother was there. They had probably did something, whatever mischievous, and the reason they were coming to shoot up the house because he did something wrong. They had planned to kill him, and probably whoever else. I remember opening up the door and the guy stuck the shotgun in my face, and my brother dove over the top, and I'm standing there like a deer in the headlights, like what the crap is going on? But I knew him. A couple of seconds later, they run off the porch, and there's about 15 people in the back, and they just commenced with just an open shootout, probably 100 more rounds. Those are the things that when I growed up with, we didn't know about, but it desensitized me as a person. There's that ACEs, this model that says averse childhoods. Children that have averse childhoods, their life expectancy has a lifespan. I think I've defied that odds. Growing up, seeing the gun violence of just my brother being killed, 3 houses down, house being shot up, other activities. Very, very corrupt law enforcement personnel. Not all police are corrupt, but I've just grown up seeing the corruption, how folks will kill, steal, and rob other folks. And I've seen the senseless self-shootings of the black communities, and I've seen the law enforcement abuse. But overall, I think that one thing I can say is that I defied some of those odds. I've had the pleasure to most recently take the School of Ministry down once a year. The School of Ministry at Living Word Christian Center, we typically have 2 medical mission trips. We have one that goes to Costa Rica, and then we have one that goes to Haiti. I'm the team lead for the group that goes to Haiti, and then we got another one of our administrative assistants, Minister Sharon Peebles. She takes the Costa Rica trip down, which is the 2nd year in a row. They're on the annual now. But for the last 4 years, I've been the team lead for the trip to Haiti. So we had a very limited trip due to U.S. State Department travel advisories. So we had to kind of call our trip short, pull it due to some of the civil unrest that's going on down in Haiti right now. But most important, we went down, we were able to do a little bit and set some foundation, but we're taking another team down June the 16th through the 21st. And those things that we could not accomplish due to some of the civil unrest, we're going to hit it again. But Specifically taking the medical missions group down. I take a group of about 10 doctors down, maybe about 12 nurses down. We take our own pharmacists, we take our own optometrists, we take our own gynae folks, OGYN. We take everybody down with us. And typically we've got a volunteer staff from the School of Ministry and Living Word. We took down 18 this past trip. And we normally have a collaborative agreement with Master's Touch Ministry with Dr. Patricia Bailey. And Dr. Patricia Bailey brings in a host of about 18 or so more people. So we had a smaller trip this time to Haiti. But, most important, it was still a power-packed trip. When we do the medical missions, the years prior, like last year, we seen 1,200 patients in 1 week. So you can kind of get an idea how many patients that we see in 1 week. 1,200 people, that's a lot of people that's pressing. So again, when we treat them and triage them, we also, we have our own pharmacists that we take down. We probably take down maybe about 150, 2,000, to maybe 150 to about $200,000 in meds. And we set these people up for success. We triage everything from gangrene to gonorrhea to syphilis to we triage everything from whatever it might be. We're setting up a full clinic the same way if you went to Northwestern Memorial Hospital or any other clinic in metropolitan area where you go in, you present your insurance and do what have you. But we're providing a high caliber of service to the very undeserved population because the doctors that we have and the nurses that we have, these people are committed to the task. They are so committed to the task. It's interesting. Last year we seen, I think the record number that we seen 1,275 patients in 1 week, in one trip. But with our trip that was cut short this time, we were not able to do as much. So we are forecast to go back down with a little bit of the civil unrest and the forecast from the United States State Department. Things have now come under a little bit more control. But when we go down, we do the medical missions. We set up, we drill wells. You got Cody Mashan that has a river source of water. It's somewhat contaminated because everybody uses the same thing. You got the feces from the pigs and everything else. But what we do is that we drill the wells and we drill down the sediments 1, 2, and 3. So underneath that sediment, everything kind of purifies. And so we've got about maybe 30 wells that we've drilled and done, co-sponsored with Dr. Patricia Bailey and Master's Touch Ministry. So Living Word set up the first time in the Haitian trip history of all the missions trip that we've done in the last 10 years. Living Word finally set up a school of ministry there last year. So we're 8 months into the school of ministry because Dr. Bill Winston decided, hey, we got to stop going down there and feeding these people. We got to teach them how to fish. But they are so hungry. The Haitian people may appear to be physically impoverished, but they are spiritually enriched. And we're cultivating that enrichment because we're teaching them how to be intercessors and pray for their own land and take back what they have through the substance of everything that they have, which is just good, honest, hard work. These are a series of my vision boards that I've developed, and part of going through trauma, part of going through complex PTSD, part of going through just medical, situations and just other things and socioeconomic things. It seemed like I went vertical in life. I was very organized with my thoughts, ideas, and my emotions, but I had to come up with the vision boards because I lost my vision. As an example, recovering from an addiction, so many images bombard our minds and we get used to so many things just coming in that we don't control it. We don't control our thoughts, so we can't control our emotions. As an example, if you watch pornography or do something, men don't like to talk about things like that. They throw us off with our morals. But all those visions and all those images does something to the inside, so it makes the outside respond and react a certain way. So that's what this is all about. When I went through the lowest time of my life, I had to put some positive images in me. Like this one here is all about gateway and my recovery. Basically, it says be strong. Peace of mind. Throwed a lot of scripture in there. No weapon formed against me shall prosper. I thought that Gateway was a very instrumental platform for me to help me with my recovery, recovering from an addiction. But these boards gave me an opportunity to remember what I thought I wanted and who I thought I wanted to become. So it gave me a bridge in between, because I didn't have a vision. And if you lack vision, you have no railroad tracks. And if you have no railroad tracks and then you're a locomotive and you're running around trying to get somewhere and to do something, you're never going to be able to get anywhere because you can't facilitate. These vision boards help me to facilitate. As an example, this one here, it talks about 20 years of jiu-jitsu and having the most adverse thing that happened, which is a surgery, which is major. And all my success went to a stumbling halt. By the way, I love President Obama and Prince Harry. That was when he first met. That was when he told me he first met Megan. So I got things on here that makes me remember who I am and what I am. This says train harder, but be smarter with my training. And specifically, being smarter means that it doesn't mean that I don't or can't go back to jiu-jitsu. It just means that I picked up something new like Aikido. But a lot of memories with my training. And this is a vision board that I developed. And it was specifically to talk about the relationship with my son. Because me being a non-custodial parent, being interstate, my son is down there in Georgia sometimes, he has been belligerently oppositionally defiant at moments, like you haven't been there for me. And I was like, I've been there for you the whole time. But this helps me to remember that although he's a grown man now, I still have to father and I still have to be a mentor to him, because one of the things that he's done, from fraternities to other things, he's always tried to replace me in his own little way, ornery little sucker. But I have to remind him that I've been there behind the scenes, in front of the scenes, and dealing with everything. And that my life with him is not about moments that I wasn't with him. It's about what I am gonna do with him. Because we're family, because I have the victory. So if we had to talk about me, when my wife sees this, or later on when my wife and I review this, and we go through this, it's not gonna be an accident that I picked the right person. And I got exactly who I was looking for, what I was looking for, because I put it on my vision boards. I'm basically showing the world that these are the things that I'm gonna do, and these are the things that I'm committing to make sure that I assure that through my faith in God, that I will be able to have the things that I request. And that's what these boards represent. They represent hope for me, they represent prosperity for me, and they represent a peace of mind. There's one more. This one here is kind of a veterans vision board, because I just recently got in the program, Road Home program down at Rush University. And it's a veterans-based program. It took me 3 denials and 2 arguments to get in. But part of the Road Home program is I've never dealt with my military PTSD. And it wasn't until about 3 years ago that we got a diagnosis for it. And from that diagnosis, one of the strongest things is that they helped me to embrace, to understand by educating me. So Road Home talks about coming back. The war is over, but there's still things out there. This is a picture of me when I used to be with Security Forces Special Operations. That's kind of how my lifestyle used to be. This is a group of folks in Hawaii that was kind of like my crew. And this just talks about Team Rubicon. And specifically, the reason that this is one of my more favorite boards, because Team Rubicon has been my platform through this whole recovery that gave me the stability. Team Rubicon gave me the opportunity to change and not be judged. And I had to track and document that. And I tracked it and documented it through vision, through images. And that's what these boards represent. Just in a hopeless state, putting better images and putting better thoughts and replacing those old thoughts and working on capturing the bad thoughts in my mind, getting those things out. And all at once, from a maintenance of that, I changed my emotions. So managing my thoughts, changing my thoughts, manage my emotions, I was able to change my lifestyle and my behaviors. And you asked me before, how did I do things different? What's different from 3 years ago to now? 3 years ago, I wasn't able to manage my emotions because I wasn't managing my thoughts. 3 years ago was something that maybe I was out and I didn't understand the hopelessness. Today, I got hope. I'm managing my thoughts. I'm managing my emotions. I'm managing my fears. I'm destroying my debt. And I will not take no as an answer because I'm victorious in Christ. And that's what these awards represent, that I don't have to be a victim. I am victorious. But I look at now how I have rebuilt, and I've been real consistent, steady in prayer, steady in setting goals and doing things. And if I had to maybe share with some of the young people, never lose track of what you want to do in life. Because at 50, I had to go back to what I was doing at 30, just to get an orientation. And what I was doing at 30, I was doing at 21. Because I gave up my things that were good, that made me feel good about myself. I gave up some of those because I was so lost into different things. But it's amazing. I had to go back to not what I want to do, and I'm going to do what I want, but what do I want to do? By doing some of those things that fulfill me and gave me an opportunity to be a better person.